choice question, but instead, if Katie's done what she's supposed to do this whole time, she can show me and get all her points. Oh my goodness. So I was lazy. I'm getting lazy as you. And I did not make 2 different sets of bell ringers. So after algebra's bell ringers are made, guess what? That's what geometry is doing too. So if you didn't start the bell ringer, you're concerning me because this is an algebra skill. Again, it's been a while. You should have just gone straight to number 2, which is what I'm going to do. Let's do number 2 first. What am I supposed to do with that -4? Okay, if I distribute it, I would have 8q minus 32 equals -6q. What's 6 times 18? I don't know that. 108, 12q. Now what do I do? Okay, let's do that. Let's combine those like terms. I would have 8q minus 32 equals 108 plus 6q. Now what should I do? You can, or you can subtract 6 too. But since she said that and she's listening, we'll do what she wants. So 8q equals 140 plus 6q. Now what should I do? Okay, if I subtract 6q from both sides, you're on my nerves, Katie's group. I get 2q equals 140. So q ends up equaling 70. Perfect. That one was by far way easier than the first one. Again, this is algebra skills. This is stuff you already had because you made it to me. It's just been a while. Okay, as for number 1, what is the best way to solve number 1? That is a great idea. We could make it all decimals. What's the danger of doing Grant's way and making it all decimals?
Rounding error.
Rounding error. And that is what you said. It's funny you said that because there is a little bit of rounding error on your test. So if you're rounding in between, for instance, if you do pi, like Grant the other day was actually physically typing in 3.14 instead of pressing the pi symbol, it's going to create some rounding error. So your answer is not going to be exactly approximately what it should be. Can you guess if it's multiple choice on a standardized test the right answer? Probably so, but just beware. I'm going to instead leave it as fractions because the fractions are my friends. What would be a common denominator? Okay, so that times 3 times 3. So it'd be 9 over 6 times 2 times 2, 8 over 6 plus 4 over 6x minus, oh, and here's the doozy. 30 over 6 reduces to 5. You can do Grant's way and make it all decimals, but there's potential for some error. Or you can have them all have the same denominator. And from here on out, it should just be easy. What's my first step now? Combine those like terms. So I have 9 over 6 equals negative 22 over 6 plus 4 6s. Now what? Why don't I just add it? So I have 31 over 6 equals 4 6s. Wish I had given myself more space for this bell ringer. How do I kill off that 4 6? If I multiply both sides by 6 over 4, those two cancel out. Yay, fun. But even more fun, the 6's cancel out. So my final answer is 31 over 4. Okay, that's 7 point something. It's almost 8. So if Grant had changed it all decimals and he got like 7.8 or 7.9 as his answer, he's fine. I bet you could have guessed it if it was multiple choice.
Like the answer with 8, if you make one decimal, it's like the whole number.
You want to know why?
Sure.
Okay, so the 3 over 2 is 1.5 on the nose. But the 2/3, what did you put in? 2/3?
Wait. Oh, 2/3? 0.65.
Okay, it's like 0.6666666, and eventually you get lazy and you round to 0.67. That's the issue is the 2/3, because it's going to be a repeating decimal. That's the issue. If it was nice fractions and it wasn't 2/3 and it was a 1/2, then you could probably do what you did. Okay, now that I've nerded out, let's go to the notes. I need to know some things. I need to know what you know about this first before we even start, because can't do the bell ringer. What else have we forgotten from algebra class? What is that? What? Okay. We do not have to use it. I'm proving a point. Okay, tell me what the M is in slope-intercept form. What's the B? Okay, so don't overthink your life. So if this was y equals 3x plus 2, you would tell me the 3 is the, and the 2 is the. Okay, so everyone in the room has seen this and knows how to graph with that instantly. You know to put the point at 2, then count up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1. Is there anyone in the room who's confused on that? Well, the good news is we're not using that today. The bad news is the way you remember this and recognize it every time you see it, I need you to recognize the standard form of an equation of a circle. The standard equation of a circle. Get all your words out. Come on. Okay, so the standard equation of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equal to r squared. Trey, I'm over y'all. Trey, move to that desk. I'm just so over your group. Okay, you're very smart. What's the R for?
Radius.
Yeah, the R is for the radius. But there are a whole lot of other letters up there going on.
The H would be that.
H is not for height, but that is a good guess for us. Okay, so let's talk about, so we're wanting to, if you read the learning targets, today we're wanting to, something about equation of a circle and graph a circle. So if we want to graph a circle, yes, we need to know that radius. But we also need to know something else. What else do we need to know? Well, no, we know, if we know the radius, we know the diameter. What do you think this is called? Yeah, well, we don't call it, it doesn't necessarily happen at the origin, although that is a very good guess. What do you think that, what is it, what would you call it? Yeah, it's called the center. So to graph a circle, you need the radius and you need the center. In the center, you need an ordered pair. So our center happens at HK. Now again, that all looks ridiculous because we haven't put any numbers with it. It just looks like a bunch of letter junk. Radius is R, center at HK. Okay, before we go crazy, notice the minus signs. Those are about to come into play. And notice the R is squared. That's about to come into play as well. I'm going to go completely out of order today. I want to start with number 6. Because I can't put it both on the screen at the same time, I'm going to write that standard form again. So x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equal to r squared. So if we read the directions, we need to know the center. And we need to know the radius. Let's start with the easy one. What is the radius of this circle? Why is it not 4? It's r squared. In our standard form, it's r squared. So we need to take the square root of our number. So our radius is actually 2. What is our radius on number 7? Again, because the square root of 25, it ends up just being 5. We really like it when it's perfect squares. That's why if you've gone ahead and tried to look at the homework, that's why on number 9 I changed it from a 12 to a 16, because life's a lot easier when that last number is a perfect square. Okay, we also need to know our center for both this one as well. I know the center involves a 5 and a 6. I got that. The debate is it positive 5, negative 6, negative 5, negative 6? The debate is about the signs. So what should the signs be on this center? Should they be negative? Should it be negative 5, negative 6? No, because in our formula it's x minus h, y minus k. So our center ends up always being the opposite signs. So it was a negative 5, my center is at positive 5. It was a negative 6, my center is at positive 6. So where would my center be on the next example then? Because it's opposite signs. Opposite of positive, negative. Opposite of positive, negative. Are there any questions about number 6 or number 7? I just can't not write it. A creature of city. Are there any questions about 6 or 7? We're not done. Why are we not done? Because it said you had to graph it. If you can do this, you've done the hard part. The graph is as easy as it gets. We put our center. So I go over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up 6. There's my center. Since my radius is 2, that means every other point on the circle is 2 units away from here. So I'm going to count up 2, down 2, right 2, left 2. I'm going to go 2 in every direction.
Would you go to side?
Yes.
No, like,
Oh, diagonally? No, I wouldn't.
could you?
No. Because it's 2 from here would probably be out there.
That's the thing.
Yeah, so, and then you're on my next part. I'm really, even me included, I'm really tempted from here to connect the dots and make it look like a kite. So we're just going to have to do our best to make it circular. Now, if it wasn't May the 8th and I had 1,000 years left with you in geometry, we would do a much better job and like get out the protractors, make these some beautiful circles. But for now, as long as, because that looks more oval-like than circle. For now, as long as Toby's circle isn't pointy, I can't count off. Like, he's doing the best he can. Okay, same thing on the next one. Our center is at negative 2, negative 1. Our radius is 5, so we've got to go out 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, seriously, we just do the best we can to connect those dots in a circular manner. I know, just don't. I already know. I've already thought it. I just moved on. My color choices did not help today. Okay. Are there any questions about graphing a circle? There's seriously ACT questions about graphing a circle. So that's another reason why it was really important to me to do this, because we got to get it right. Okay, what's special? Let's go to number 5. I'm telling you, out of order today. What's weird about number 5? Okay, so what should we do to make it look the way all the other equations looked? What should we do to make it look like all the other equations? Okay, if we did that, we would have x squared plus y squared equal to 4. Now, of course, this one's a double whammy. Not only is it not in standard form, but there's also something special about the origin in this example. What's special about the origin in this example? Darn it, don't you hate it when you say the answer out loud and like you write it and everything? Like I'm writing origin instead of center. Yeah. Golly, brain fart. Like I wanted it to be a beautiful, perfect question, like a mind-blowing, like duh, it has to be a 0, 0, and I wrote the word origin, said it out loud. Awesome. What's the radius? Yeah, because the square root of 4 is 2. Okay, Miss Compton, why is the the center at the origin, because really this is what we had. We had this, and then we said, well, no one writes the minus zeros. That's silly. So that's how we got there. Because if we had put minus 0, you would have said that's silly, Miss Compton. No one writes that. So that's how they got to just x squared and y squared. Okay, so I put my center at the origin. I count out 2, over 2, down 2, left 2. And then I connect those dots as best I can, and we're done. We're done with that example. Not done overall, sorry. Okay, are there any questions on 5, 6, or 7? Okay. Sawyer and everyone else. Oh, it's 1 through 10. David, before I forget, stand up, grab the green pen, erase the 8, change it to 10. It says 10-minute homework on notes number 1 through 8. It's 1 through 10. It's all 10 problems. You now know how to do 7 through 10. If you notice, it says you have to graph 7 and 8. I anticipated your lack of graph paper. There are some graphs on the back. Use those. There are graphs on the back. Use those. So that means there's an extra graph. If you want to graph something else for another circle for practice, that's a good idea. Okay, so now we know how to do 7 through 10, but we don't know how to do 1 through 3. So let's go to 1 through 4 in our notes. So we know how to go from the equation to the radius in the center. Now we're going to do reverse. You're given the radius in the center. Can you write the equation? So now we need to write our own equation. So I know it's I just need stuff to plug in. So what should I plug in for the H and the K? Yes. I knew someone in the room was going to be one of those. You know I'm a show all my work person. You know I am. But if you're like Isaac and you're a skip ahead person and you anticipate that means just x squared plus y squared, you can go straight there. You can. I won't be mad or anything. Unless, of course, you make a mistake. So don't make a mistake. Okay, and then what should I put for the radius? Why did you not go straight to the answer on this one?
Oh, it's not.
What?
That was 10. That was
Thank you.
Crap.
Oh my god. I thought you were asking for like your
Oh, just that. Yeah, because I said radius. I should have said what's the last thing I put on this this equation. That's how it's my phrasing. It was me. Okay, Danny, why were you trying to make things complicated? What happens on number 2? They give you the diameter. So Danny's already anticipating what's about to happen. They are going to complicate things a bit. They'll give us the diameter instead of the radius. Okay, what would the radius be? Okay, so should I plug in 8 squared then? No, I should plug in 4 squared, which is 16. She's a jump ahead one now. Awesome. Let's do it. Okay, what should I plug in for the center? Do I put a -4 or a +4? That's what I need to know. Okay, and then do I put a -1 or a +1? It's the opposite signs. Thank you for that ridiculousness. Are there any questions about those first 2 examples? You're on YouTube acting the fool. Just like you should know.
Yeah, alright.
You are not this redneck if you don't stop. Wait till I stop recording.
Y'all heard that, that's a death.
Oh, yes, death threat, let me tell you. Let's do number 3 and 4 over here because I'm out of room. We're going to do those fast. I'm going to be that person that goes straight to the answer now. So the radius is 6, so my r squared would be 36. My center's at negative 2, 4. So do I do plus 2 or minus 2? Plus 2, and then what about the 4? Minus 4. It's the opposite signs. Plus 2, minus 2. Plus 4, minus 4. And then as for number 4, oh, I accidentally put that, so I can't not do it. Ugh. Okay. Do I do 100?
No,
Why?
because it's the diameter. So
Okay. So the radius is 5. So it was 5 squared. So she's right. It should be 25. Okay. The fear of not showing your work and doing what I did on number 3 is if they give you the diameter and you square it, I'm going to be mad because it's the radius squared. If Sawyer's taken all year to like write it all out, he tried, he made a tiny mistake, that I can be sorry for. If he goes straight to the answer, he's made a mistake. Kind of hard to feel sorry for. Speaking of that, let me stop this. Speaking of that, on your test, it's the same way. I don't